This is the tale of a dog who entered into the jungle and made an unexpected friend. We bet that by the end of this story, you will have tears in your eyes. So stay with us till the end. One day a little puppy went missing from his home. The puppy's name was Tommy. Tommy's owner was very worried about him. He searched for his pet everywhere, but there was no sign of him. Suddenly, he heard some people talking about a lost dog matching Tommy's description. They said they had seen him entering the dangerous darkwood forest. The forest was known to be extremely dark and scary. No one had ever been inside, and no one knew what was inside it. Many people had tried to go inside, but turned back after hearing some mysterious sounds coming from the forest. Tommy's owner couldn't do anything. He loved his dog so much that he decided to enter the forest. He hoped that he would find his dog safe and sound. The man took a deep breath, grabbed a stick, and slowly entered the dark forest. It was as dark inside the forest as its name suggested. The man couldn't see anything around him. But after walking a few steps, he heard some noise. "Who's there?" he shouted loudly. But there was no reply. All he could hear was the sound of crickets. The man continued walking, hoping to find Tommy, but after a while, he saw something unbelievable. He saw a little dog sitting in front of him. But when he came closer, he realized that it wasn't just any dog. It was his dog, Tommy. He was so happy to see Tommy safe and sound. He picked him up and hugged him tightly. But then he noticed something weird. Tommy wasn't alone. He was sitting next to a big wild animal. The man was shocked. He couldn't believe his eyes. He thought that Tommy must have befriended a wolf. But when he came closer, he realized that it was neither a wolf nor a dog. It was an animal that he had never seen before. It was a majestic Siberian tiger. The tiger was also looking at them. The man was scared, but then the tiger did something that shocked him even more. It stood up and started licking Tommy. The man couldn't believe what he was seeing. He had never seen a tiger behave like this before. Then he noticed something strange. The tiger had a bandage on its leg. It looked like it had been injured. The man understood that the tiger must be in pain. That's why it was behaving strangely. The man took a deep breath and slowly put Tommy down. Then he went towards the tiger and tried to touch its leg. The tiger was scared at first, but then it calmed down. The man removed the bandage and saw that it had a deep wound. The man took out a bottle of water from his bag and gave it to the tiger. The tiger lapped up the water and looked at the man gratefully. The man smiled. He knew that he had to do something to help the tiger. He took out his phone and called a vet. He explained the situation to him and asked him to come to the forest as soon as possible. The vet was shocked, but he agreed to help. The man stayed with the tiger until the vet arrived. He talked to it and tried to make it feel comfortable. The tiger seemed to like the man. It kept nuzzling against him and purring loudly. After a few minutes, the vet arrived. He examined the tiger and said that it needed to be taken to the hospital for further treatment. The man nodded and carefully lifted the tiger onto a stretcher. With the help of the vet and some other people who had gathered there, they took the tiger out of the forest. They all heaved a sigh of relief once they took the tiger out of the forest. It was a very scary place and none of them wanted to stay there any longer. Once the tiger was taken to the hospital, the man went home. He was exhausted, but he was also very happy. He had saved a life. The next day, the man went to the hospital to check up on the tiger. He was happy to see that it was doing well. The vet told him that it would take some time for the tiger to fully recover, but that it was making good progress. The man nodded and smiled. He couldn't wait to see the tiger back in its natural habitat. He visited the tiger every day. He would bring it food and water and talk to it for hours. The tiger seemed to be very happy to see the man. It would nuzzle against him and purr loudly. The man felt a strong bond with the tiger. He had never felt this way about any other animal. After a few weeks, the tiger was finally well enough to be released back into the forest. The man was sad to see the tiger go, but he knew that it was what was best for the animal. He had grown to love the tiger, but he knew that it belonged in the wild. The man watched as the tiger disappeared into the trees. He felt a pang of sadness, but he knew that he had done the right thing. The man went back to his car and drove home. He couldn't stop thinking about the tiger. He wondered how it was doing and if it missed him. Suddenly, he heard a loud crash in the bushes. He turned around and saw a small puppy running towards him. The man couldn't believe his eyes. It was Tommy, his dog. Tommy had been missing for weeks. The man was so happy to see Tommy. He picked him up and hugged him tightly. Tommy licked the man's face and wagged his tail excitedly. The man was so happy that Tommy was safe. He had been worried sick about his dog. He couldn't believe that Tommy had been in the forest the whole time. Tommy barked loudly and started running towards the forest. The man followed him and soon realized where Tommy was going. He took off his shoes and socks and started running after Tommy. He had to catch up to his dog. Tommy had disappeared into the bushes. The man pushed aside the branches and leaves and saw the most amazing sight. There was Tommy and the Siberian tiger. They were playing together and having the time of their lives. The man couldn't believe his eyes. He had never seen a tiger and a dog playing together before. It was amazing. Tommy saw the man and ran towards him. He barked excitedly and wagged his tail. The tiger also came out of the bushes. It was limping slightly, but it was getting better. The man was so happy to see that the tiger was recovering well. The man bent down and petted Tommy. He was so happy that his dog was okay. He also looked at the tiger and smiled. The tiger nuzzled against the man and purred loudly. The man felt a strong bond with the tiger. He had never felt this way about any other animal. The man, Tommy, and the tiger became best friends. They spent their days playing in the forest and their nights cuddling together in a cave. The man was so happy with his life. He had a great dog and an amazing tiger for a friend, and they all lived happily ever after. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe for more updates. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.